Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa and I'm the owner of seasonandserveblog.com. Blueberries are in season and today I'm going to show you how to make this delicious blueberry coffee cake. This coffee cake has a dense base and is topped with fresh blueberries and a delicious crunchy and sweet streusel topping. This cake comes together with just a few ingredients and is really nice to serve for dessert or even breakfast and brunch while blueberries are in season. So if you want to learn how to make my blueberry coffee cake, just keep on watching. Before we begin baking, we'll preheat the oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, we'll take an 8-inch springform pan and add some butter to it and grease both the bottom and the sides of the springform pan. Using the springform pan makes removing the coffee cake from the tin a lot easier, so if you have one, I highly recommend using it. And once the tin is buttered, we'll set that aside and we'll prepare our dry ingredients. So into a medium-sized bowl, I've added 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and then we're going to add some baking powder, baking soda, and some cinnamon for a delicious warming flavor. And then we'll use a whisk to mix everything to combine. And I like to whisk this for about 2 minutes to ensure that all of the dry ingredients are evenly combined throughout the dry mixture. And once that's done, we'll set the dry mixture aside for later. And next we'll move on to making our wet mixture. So into a large bowl, I'm going to add half a cup of butter, along with half a cup of granulated white sugar. Then I'll use a hand mixer to blend this until it's completely smooth, and to make this a lot easier, using butter at room temperature is ideal. And next we'll add 1 large egg to the bowl and then blend this again until smooth. And don't forget, all the full measurements and directions can be found on my blog and in the description box down below. And last but not least, we'll add the vanilla extract, and this is my homemade version that is way better than any store-bought vanilla that I've ever tried. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see how I make my homemade vanilla extract. The next stage is to combine the wet and dry ingredients. So we're going to add half of the dry ingredients into the bowl and mix until just combined. Then we're going to add half a cup of milk to the bowl, along with half a cup of Greek yogurt. And this is going to add a lot of richness and moistness to this coffee cake. And then we'll incorporate those ingredients and then add the remaining dry mixture. And I add the Greek yogurt and the milk in the later stages of making this cake because there is a chemical reaction that happens between the Greek yogurt and the baking powder and baking soda, and as you can see, the batter becomes super fluffy. And as you can also see, I forgot to add some lemon zest, and this is optional, but it adds a really nice fresh flavor to the cake. So I add about a tablespoon of lemon zest and mix that in. But make sure you add this when you're mixing the wet ingredients together initially. At this point, the cake batter is all combined and we're just going to add it into our springform pan that we buttered earlier, and then use a spatula to spread it out into an even layer. And we'll set the cake aside for now and we will wash and dry our blueberries. And I'm super proud of these blueberries because they came from our garden in our backyard. They are so juicy and delicious and sweet this year, and they worked perfectly in this cake. Then we'll add the washed and dried blueberries on top of the cake in an even layer, and make sure you press it down lightly just so that the blueberries can sink into the cake batter. Once those are on top, we'll just set that aside and we'll make the streusel topping. To make the sweet and crunchy streusel topping, we're going to combine some flour, brown sugar, and some butter into a bowl, and then we're going to mix it until it's a nice thick sand consistency. This streusel topping is really versatile and you can use it on cakes or muffins and cupcakes. It is so good. Then we'll just sprinkle our streusel topping on top of the fresh blueberries in an even layer, and then we'll just pop this in the oven and bake it for about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes at 325 degrees Fahrenheit. You know the cake is done when the top is nice and golden brown, and when you insert a toothpick into the center, it comes out clean. And we'll let this cool for 30 minutes in the pan before unmolding it. Once the cake is cooled down, I like to run a butter knife around the edge of the cake to loosen it from the pan, and then simply release the springform pan and your cake is beautiful. And with this cake, I love that you can see the cake, blueberry, and streusel topping layers, and it all works together beautifully in terms of the texture and flavor. Now all you have to do is use a sharp knife to cut up your cake into slices and then serve. And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoy this recipe for my blueberry coffee cake. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this cake and if you're going to make it for your friends and family this summer. And once again, you can find this full recipe post on my blog at seasonandserveblog.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.